What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the live, guys. We're live, finally on the channel. And yeah, guys, so like I said, today's gonna be a Q&A, a little bit of a Q&A. Don't know what that was. That was a cute. This is, wait, what the fuck's going on? Hold up, I'm about to mute myself. So this is off to a terrible start. My bad, guys. So we're live now. I still don't even know what's playing from my I don't know how this is even playing from my my what do you call it? My PC right now. I don't know how this is playing, but somehow it's playing. Not exactly sure, but hey, it is what it is. Today we're live. We're doing a Q&A, as I said prior. Let me know you guys could hear everything. I want to make sure, because like I said, something is playing. I don't know what. Something's playing my audio on my computer. But yeah, there's a lot of questions. I didn't even change the lights. I know you guys really, I asked you guys throughout the week. I said, look, I'm doing a Q&A. We're live. Obviously, I'm also going to be accepting questions in the chat and things like that. But yeah, look, I've done Q&As in the past. I like doing them a little bit longer. But yeah, what's up, Piggly Wiggly? What's up? Of course, my man is here. I said, yeah, I like doing Q&As. I've done Q&As in the past. And we're going to do it live so I can answer live questions. I'm sure there's stuff you guys want to know. Baby stuff that'll break live. You never know. Look, a little quick Q&A. I have questions already loaded up. I tried not to take too much of a look at them, but I did see they kind of had a central theme, to be honest, and you guys will see what I mean. And yeah, so like I said, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. We're here. We're live. Like I said, shorts are up right now. There's going to be a new video tomorrow. UFC 311. We're entering UFC 311 fight week. At the end, I am going to talk about, Duran Ribas a little bit, talk about some of my thoughts. Thought we'd do the Q&A straight off the bat, guys. I know a lot of people, as I said, this title is about Conor McGregor, because a lot of these questions have to do with the Conor McGregor situation, as well as like just the lawsuit. Is it right to even cover Conor McGregor? Is he going to fight Logan Paul? Is he going to fight KSI? Is he going to fight in the UFC? Is he washed? You know what I'm saying? So we're going to answer all those questions, and I guess we'll just get into it, right? Let's just get into this right here. Let's start off with the first question. This is from Ricky B8369. Bruh, great content. I see great things in your future. You got something unique, def. P.S. Be the first podcast, bruh, to boycott anything Conor McGregor. Yesterday, I am so fucking done hearing everybody still trying to ride his past. Wonder for what really is pathetic today. He has become a shadow of his past, and he will never fight again, period. I have lost 100% respect for the man he has become. Just my thoughts. Love your stuff, Jack. Well, I appreciate you for saying that. Appreciate the support. Now, this is a question I've seen come up time and time again. I've seen actually a lot of people say, oh, why are you covering Conor McGregor still? Conor, let's be honest, guys. Look, you might not like Conor McGregor, whatever, but he is one of the biggest names in the sport, and he is just as big as the sport itself. Let's be honest. I mean, you know what I mean? It would be disgenuine to say that, if we're talking mainstream, I know not to hardcores like, probably people watching this or myself, but he is bigger than the sport itself. He brought the sport to another level. He's the reason that a lot of people know about the sport. And look, you might not like that, but it just is what it is at this point. It's what the case is. I'm still trying to figure out, like, I don't know how this audio is coming. Like, I literally hear my stream audio from my PC. I just had it muted, but I'm like, I don't even know how. Anyway, but look, so do I think that I should boycott him? No, look, this is news at the end of the day. You don't just boycott. In my opinion, you don't boycott stuff you don't support. There's plenty of things in, regular news, regular media that, you report that not everybody necessarily agrees with. Not everybody agrees with the fact that, like, whether it be political, whether it be, terrorist stuff. Like, I mean, let's take like even like Luigi Mangione, right? Obviously, this is the guy that shot the CEO, healthcare. A lot of people don't support him. A lot of people do support. It's pretty split, crazy enough. And what I'm trying to say about that is that, look, that some people support it. Some people think, oh, that this is wrong. This shouldn't be publicist. This shouldn't be for the public. This shouldn't be, encourage this. There shouldn't be behavior that is talked about past, and it shouldn't, this crime shouldn't be repeated, which of course I agree with. I'm not condoning anything. I'm not even here to defend him, of course. But what I'm trying to say is I want to go out there and not report on it just because of that, I'm trying to say, or anything like that. Is still relevant to news, and Conor McGregor is still very relevant to news. I mean, take a look at the videos. The videos have a lot of comments. The videos have a lot of views. There's a reason for that, is because there is a demand for Conor McGregor videos. There's a demand for who he's going to fight next. There's a demand for updates. Some people do want to see this Logan Paul Conor McGregor fight. I'm not one of those people, of course, but there are people that want to see it. So that's kind of where we leave things at that. Let's go to the next question here. You mentioned Tony at the end. He's been heading down a scary path for a while, all the vicious KOs, and now maybe joining GFL. What's after that? Fighting for street beefs in random people's backyards. Man. Well, look, Tony Ferguson, obviously we reported that. It is heavily rumored for the guys I missed it, Kevin Lee did an interview with Ariel Helwani where he talked about he signed with the GFL, the new MMA organization, and said, look, that they are in talks with Tony Ferguson. That's pretty crazy, right? Tony Ferguson obviously losing a lot of fights recently. Let's see, what do you call it? Sorry, I had to fix something. Yeah, Tony Ferguson losing a lot of fights as of recently. Obviously, I think he's on like a 7-8 fight losing streak. All love for Tony Ferguson. I don't know if there's any fight in the UFC right now that I would say like, oh yeah, Tony Ferguson should fight. Okay. And for any of you guys tuning in, Q&A, you guys can leave questions in the chat and I will answer them. But like I said, no, I think that what do you call it? That look, I don't think you should be fighting the UFC. I don't even think you should be fighting MMA. I don't think at this stage there really isn't much to gain for Tony Ferguson to join the GFL. I don't think he has money problems. I'm sure he could. I've mentioned this in past videos. I think I mentioned this when he fought Patty, which was now at this point like over a year ago. I think I was like, look, dude, he could do seminars and probably cash in that way. He could probably, get cash other means. But I don't even think cash is a problem for him. I don't think that's why he's fighting. I think he's fighting because he does want to win. I think he misses the 12-fight win streak. I mean, think about being so close to the title and just never getting it. I'm sure it's really tough. But Tony Ferguson, I got to say, this past year, I have been so impressed with this guy's mindset. This guy has definitely, he's been showing. You remember, I mean, it's a stark contrast from his last fight at UFC Abu Dhabi, that fight night, to the fight before that, or not the fight before that, but the UFC 274. That fight week, it was dark, it was gloomy, it was depressing, grumpy, mad at the world, mad at everybody, and mad at the UFC, mad because you didn't get your opportunities in the past, which I'm not blaming him for at all, because as I just said, I would be upset too if I were him. But I don't even know where I was going with this, but yeah, like I said, Tony Ferguson, I think that where was I going with that, man? I don't even know. But nowadays he's happier. I think that's what I was just trying to say. He's happier now, and it's good to see. But I would much rather him do grappling. I think, look, if he does some grappling, I think that would be much more interesting to watch, and I think he has a better chance there. I mean, clearly, I think his problem is his reflexes, I think, are a bit slower. His chin is still there. He still takes a lot of damage. He did get knocked out by Michael Chandler, but I think that was just a perfect shot. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And I thought maybe this would be a deterioration of his chin. I don't think so, because we've seen him take some shots. And look, I think maybe grappling, but I mean, even then, I think Tony Ferguson could probably just chill on the side. I mean, he's had a great career, nothing to be ashamed of. One of the greatest lightweights of all time, period. So, next question. Jake Paul versus Conor was never going to happen. What sort of idiot thought it was? He's under contract with the UFC. He's under contract with he's under contract with UFC. He's under contract with UFC. Do I need to say it again? If you don't understand, there's a bridge somewhere, no doubt about it. Well, I am, I guess, one of the idiots that he's talking about. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think that Conor McGregor and Jake Paul, I never said that was likely to happen. I always said that was not going to happen. But I assume he's probably switching Logan Paul and Jake Paul. And I still think there's a good possibility McGregor does go into one of these celebrity boxing matches. Now, is it against Logan Paul? It doesn't look like it anymore. I personally am not sure if it'll happen anymore. I think if it's Logan Paul, it's nobody. I think Logan Paul was the perfect name because of the relationship with the UFC, the fact of his skill. I mean, let's be honest, he's also probably the least skillful of the three top names, Jake Paul, KSI, Logan Paul, whatever. He's probably the least skillful. He's the big. I wouldn't say necessarily maybe outright the biggest name, but he is. He's not going to cause problems for the company. He has a good relationship with Dana White. He is the most predictable in terms of promotion. I don't think he's going to throw any curveballs and go after the UFC. I don't think he's going to throw any curveballs really at Conor McGregor. Maybe he'll go after the lawsuit allegations. I think he did go after Mayweather when Logan fought Mayweather. I think Logan brought up the domestic violence stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised by any means if if Logan Paul did go for the sexual assault, lawsuit that's going on with Conor, that went on with Conor, really. It kind of concluded. But like I said, I mean, I think that Jake Paul versus Conor, no. Logan Paul or KSI versus Conor is a lot more likely. I think that the UFC, the fact that they've been silent, the fact that Dana White has been silent, it's made a lot of volume. UFC 311 Fight Week is here. Dana White will be doing a lot of media. 1,000%, I would be shocked if he does not get asked something about this. I'm hoping he gets asked about Conor McGregor. I would imagine, whether it be the post-fight press conference, maybe even the pre-fight press conference. Honestly, that's how big the news is with Conor. We have heard nothing from the UFC. So do we hear something from Dana White this week? That is something to definitely take a look at. That's something that we definitely have to follow because, look, I could see a scenario where Dana White says, look, this is bullshit. I never talked about it, and it's not happening. That probably will be his response. But maybe that's a negotiation tactic, or maybe that's being legit. We'll see. Personally, though, I think probably I don't know. If I were to take a bet on it, I would say no. I don't think Conor does boxing. As of right now, I think if it's not Logan Paul, it's nobody. I think KSI versus Conor is a very real thing and is big for the UK. I mean, the fight really is not as big in the United States, and I think would be carried by Conor. But in the UK, I think that's a big fight. That's a massive fight, especially if it happens on Misfits. That's a big W for Misfits as well. So we'll see. Like I said, I think I wouldn't be surprised. I've said before, I wouldn't be surprised if this is some sort of attachment to Zuffa Boxing. Obviously, we've heard Dana White say that he has some big plans in 2025 with Zuffa Boxing. I wouldn't be surprised because this just seems like a perfect opportunity if he genuinely wants to kickstart that business and actually get into boxing. I think this would be a huge move for him to potentially get into that space, honestly. So I think it's possible. I don't think it's people say like, oh, the obvious thing to say in hindsight is, oh yeah, it's obvious. Why did you think that was going to happen? That's not going to happen. No way Conor's going to buy. It makes sense. It does make sense. It makes sense for a lot of reasons. Like I said, especially when you consider, I think the biggest thing is that, keep in mind, Conor has 2 fights left on his contract. The guy is going to want to go out there and box, period. He's going to want to fight for other organizations because, let's be honest, Conor could cash in hundreds of millions outside of the UFC. I mean, let's be for real about this. Look how much Tyson Fury is getting paid. Conor McGregor is more of a draw than Tyson Fury, and that's going to piss off boxing fans, but it's true. Look at the pay-per-view numbers. Conor McGregor is more of a draw, and Conor will get paid a lot of money. I mean, think about if Saudi Arabia put on, let's just say Manny Pacquiao versus Conor McGregor. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. I know Manny Pacquiao hasn't fought in a while. Maybe even something like a Ryan. I don't know how much Ryan Garcia walks around at. Ryan Garcia is, I think, like pretty light, so I don't think Ryan Garcia, Conor McGregor could ever happen. Maybe they do like Terrence Crawford versus Conor McGregor. I mean, I don't know. It really depends how committed Conor is to boxing. But that fight is a massive one. Maybe even imagine Canelo versus Conor McGregor. These are all massive fights that Saudi Arabia could make, and they're going to cash out Conor. I mean, they're going to cash out, and these are all massive fights, so think about it. These would draw on pay-per-views, and I think the UFC would be a fool. The UFC, if they're going to want to have to hold on to Conor McGregor, I've been saying this for about a year at this point now. What they need to do is they need to really think outside the box. They need to really modify this contract so that Conor can go out there and box. I think it's going to have to come down to that. It's going to have to come down to getting rid of that exclusivity clause in the contract for Conor to fight, because it's not worth it for Conor. Unless Conor is legit and just wants to fight in the UFC for competition, there is no other logical reason why he would stick around. That's just the truth. If you're Team Conor and you're looking out for Conor and you're trying to make Conor the most profit, it's not in the UFC. But if you want the best competition, the best fights, the best, I guess, hyped fights, yeah, it would be in the UFC, but it would not be, it would not be for the most money, because UFC is not. So I think that maybe they get rid of the exclusivity stuff, and hopefully everything works out there. you know? Okay, so should we move on to the next question? Let's move on to the next question. Next question, like I said, guys, you guys could feel free to ask in the chat any question, and I will answer them as well for the Q&A. Guess what? McGregor will make you talk about something to stay relevant once again and do nothing. So, yeah, I've seen, like I said, these are a lot of the comments I've been seeing a lot lately. So this is really me, I guess, just really kind of talking about Conor McGregor a lot. And like I said, I'm willing to answer anything personal, MMA, UFC, boxing, whatever it is. But like I said, so about this, yeah. Look, Conor, as I've said before, he's the biggest name in the sport. He's bigger. He's at the very least just as big as the sport itself. And what do you call it? And I'm going to answer your question, by the way, Five Life Nation. I'm just going to wait to answer this one. And yeah, look, so yeah, Conor, you could say, oh yeah, he's making me talk about something, or he's making us all talk about something and not going to do anything. That's just what he does. He's good at getting headlines. And look, I can't just say, oh, I'm not going to report on it. I'm literally reporting the news. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm literally, that's what I've been doing, just reporting updates, news. So it's like, yeah, look, I'm going to report on what people want to know. I'm here to inform. I look at it as, look, I'm trying to inform people. I pick news stories based on, like, would people want to know this? Do they care about this? Sometimes they say no. Sometimes I'm like, people don't want to hear about this. And I don't report on every single story that happens. I report on, maybe things you could have missed that are interesting, or big stories, and I give my thoughts, and I break it down, and I break down what it could mean for the future. But I'm of course going to talk about Conor McGregor. He's as big as the sport himself. It would be doing a disservice to people watching and everything like that. How's it going? So I'm going to read from the chat. How's it going, Jack? I'm still in the camp that says I don't see how you tell Francis he can't box and you lose the massive Jones fight, but you let Conor box a YouTuber. Well, it's true, except I will say this. So I would say the difference here is that, look, and I'm not sitting here saying that the UFC shouldn't have let Ngannou box. As a matter of fact, in hindsight, they should have let him box, seeing that it would have done wonders for the UFC. I mean, think about that. Like, if Ngannou boxed Fury and we left it like that, then it would have seemed like, yeah, Ngannou beat Fury. I mean, Ngannou arguably did beat Fury. I mean, if we're talking about decision, we're talking about how it ended. He arguably did beat Tyson Fury. And it would have done amazing for the UFC. Dana White would have definitely went out there in the post-fight press conference, been like, oh, that's bullshit. Ngannou got robbed. He is an all-time great. You could have hyped him up and had a bigger UFC return in hindsight. But, of course, honestly, and you guys will see from my videos, I underestimated the hell out of Francis. All right, I said, and I think Fury did too. And I said, look, I'm not even sure if he goes to the second round. I mean, that was what I was saying. Those were the types of things I was saying when we were waiting for the fight, waiting for the build-up. So, obviously, in hindsight, it would have, but it would have made sense. But what I'm trying to say is this, that you got to think about it. What we know now is different from hindsight, what we could say in hindsight. What do you call it? That basically, look, like, where Conor is right now, Conor is, and look, the Floyd Mayweather fight really kind of, I don't have an excuse for that, but the thing with Conor is that Conor is nowhere near championship level. If Conor loses to Logan Paul, it really doesn't do all that much for Conor's brand, seeing that, look, Conor's already considered washed. Conor's already considered that he's never fighting again. So I think this is just the UFC saying, look, we can cash out Conor. It's not gonna. What the hell was that? There was something going on in my house. I said that Conor is what do you call it? That Conor's not at the top, so it's not going to say anything about UFC caliber competition. Well, if you have a heavyweight champion losing brutally in boxing, it says a lot about the UFC brand, and says a lot about UFC level of competition, how good the UFC is, how good UFC fighters are. And that is a big difference maker. That is, I think, the big difference. Now, obviously, Conor, when he fought Floyd, was in his prime, so that's a little bit of a different story. Maybe they felt like, hey, look, Conor probably isn't going to lose viciously here. But the consensus going into that Tyson Fury fight was Ngannou was going to get flatlined brutally and get battered. That was the consensus for most people. Obviously, that didn't happen, and it would have helped the UFC in hindsight, but the UFC doesn't know that. And also another thing is consider this, is that, look, Ngannou, Ngannou also was at the end of his contract. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to sit here and defend the UFC. I think that Ngannou should have boxed, especially in hindsight. We know it worked out. So yeah, that's just my opinion. Your next prediction for the next UFC event. Yeah, I'm gonna be releasing those this week. These aren't official predictions, but right now I am leaning towards, man, Islam and Arman's a 50-50 fight. I go back and forth. man, I don't know. I'm going back and forth. I keep going back and forth because I've said so many different things. I've given so many different predictions. I'm leaning towards Armand, but I don't know. I'm leaning towards him. He looks really good in shape. I feel like it. And Merab and Omar, I'm gonna go with Merab. And I'll get more. I'll get more about this. The next live stream we're doing, actually, I'll make this announcement right now. We're bringing it back. I did it for UFC 310. I'm gonna be breaking down the card top to bottom, every single fight. I'm gonna give my in-depth prediction. That's gonna be on Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna give my predictions there. Talk about, like I said, from top to bottom, up and down. Don't worry, guys. I got you. We did this for UFC 310. It was successful. A lot of you guys loved it. We got a lot of predictions right. And a lot of predictions wrong too, but a lot of predictions right. And we're going to do the same thing and do some betting stuff, as I said, as we did last time. It was fun, and we were profitable last time in the bet, so we're going to continue. And, yeah, like I said, I'll be doing this for every pay-per-view, I'm pretty sure, from now on, because it was a fun thing to do. I loved doing it last time. It got me invested in all the fights even more. So, yeah. What this one? Yeah, no, you meant UFC 311. My boy Jack, what's up, Fabian? I think Armin wins. You should go live for UFC 311 pay-per-view. Yo, everybody be saying that. I don't know if I can during UFC 311. Man, you know, I don't know. Everyone's saying, oh, go live, go live. Maybe I will. I really should. I really should at some point. It's just, I don't even think well, I definitely can't this Saturday. No shot. I'm not even going to be home. I'll be home later, like, so I'm about to be doing the phone, doing the whatever, you know what I'm saying, watching it, headed home, all this and that. But I'll definitely be paying attention for sure, because I'm super excited for this pay-per-view. Like I said, I was excited yesterday. I was so excited I watched, like, I missed the prelims, and I went back and watched it. Like, I was like, it was good. We need that JackMMA live reaction. I know, dude. I love doing the UFC Macau live stream. That's why I like that. I like doing the reactions. But I'm sure it'll come at some stage. At some stage, we'll do this, and we'll go live. So, for sure. I know a lot of people have been asking it, wanted to see my reaction. It's hard, too, because, like I said, I mentioned this, I think, last live stream, last Sunday. I said, look, guys, at the end of the day, like, you guys don't understand. I'm watching this. I do the live. Like, let's say I do the live. I'm live. I used to go live back then. I used to go live after the pay-per-views. I don't think it was during, but it was after. And I would talk about it, end the live for like an hour, edit the video, and basically be up like all night, dude. Like, it's brutal. Especially when you consider this, I go to school, so it's like I gotta get my sleep. I'm not just like, oh, I gotta get my sleep schedule intact for the next day. So I'm usually waking up early on the Sunday, so I'm not like sleeping super fucking late, and so then I can go to bed early. That's just what it is, and it's tough. But hey, I do want to do it, and I'm not saying no. Yo, Jack, who are your 3 favorite active fighters? I would say, well, Oliveira, I would say. I like Tom Aspinall. I'm trying to think. I like Aspinall. And I'm trying to think who would I pick as a third. Maybe I'll come up with more as we go on. But for now, I'm going to say Aspinall, Oliveira, and Pereira. Actually, I'm going to say Pereira, Oliveira, and I think I can come up with another one and kick off whoever I just said. Aspinall. No, I'll keep it like that. Aspinall, Pereira, and Oliveira. That's my 3, I would probably say right now. I'm trying to think who. I don't think there's anybody else, so I'm trying to think who else do I like. But I'm a big fan of Pereira, big fan of Oliveira, and I'm a big fan of Tom Aspinall, too. I like Tom Aspinall. I like his personality. I like who he is. He seems like a nice dude. What do you think about Khabib's comments about Ireland? So, like I said, guys, I've talked about this before. I talked about this on my news video. As a Irish, I'm like 80% Irish, guys. You guys don't understand. I'm like 80% strong. Like, I'm like a sitting leprechaun right here. I'm like a sitting leprechaun. And, oh, Topuria is a good one. Yeah, Topuria was a good active fighter. I also really like Topuria as well. Topuria is a great one. But yeah, no. But my opinion about the comments about Ireland, I think it's just like, dude, like, look, I mean, man, you know, I have a lot of opinions about the Dagestan fighters. It's just like I said, like I think when there's so many like juicing like allegations from the camp, it's like, come on, you can't, you know, like Usman. I don't want to mislead anybody, so I want to look this up before I say this, but didn't Islam kind of have like PD? Like, didn't he get caught using a PD as well? Yeah, he failed a drug test. Oh, no, he didn't fail a drug test, guys. My bad. He did not get a drug test. Oh no, he had positive. He had something in the system. He had yeah. Look, this was when was this? This was in 2015. Khabib was already starting the UFC, having his dominance before fighting Las Vegas promotion, and from the very beginning, blah, blah, blah. The failed drug test, of course, put his fight against Dober in jeopardy, and he was handed a suspension, both of which were standard practice following PTD violation. However, Makhachev was later cleared of all wrongdoing, and the investigation revealed details exonerating the Dagestani. However, it is important to remember that it had been added to a list of banned substance only 3 months before Makhachev tested for it. So, all right, well, like I said, I mean, it just seems like to me, it didn't also Islam test for PDs, I believe it did. Yeah, that's what I was just reading about. Look, at the end of the day, I think I'm not trying to, like, and I always feel uncomfortable, like, I don't like to be like, oh, this guy's on fucking steroids, and I'm not even sitting here saying I think Islam is. I genuinely don't know. It's just, like, for me, like, you know, there's so many. It's like, come on, dude. It to me, it's, you know what? It is weird to me, I will say, and I'm only gonna say this, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not accusing anybody, whatever, blah blah blah. You guys get this. I think it's just weird that a random like place in Dagestan like has like a lot of top level fighters. And I'm not saying it's just steroids. I think they're all skilled. I'm not even saying they're all on steroids. I'm sure there's, like, every place there's some on steroids, some not, blah blah blah. But it's like, you know, it's weird that they're all coming from this place, and maybe they're just all hardcore wrestlers. You know, maybe it really is just because they all love to wrestle. But I just think it's a little weird. But I that's me, and I would love, and like I said, I would love to be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even saying I'm wrong, right, whatever, because I honestly, I don't even know. I'm just saying point blank. I'm just saying point blank. I always think it's just kind of weird. They're all coming from this place, all coming from this state, so to speak, in Russia. It's like, and it's like, I want to do the math on it, and I was thinking about doing the math on it when I reported on it initially, but it's like, how many, like I would like to know per capita, like, how many of them are like UFC level fighters? You know what I'm saying? Compared to other countries, it's probably pretty high. Because think about this, like America, like how many American UFC fighters are there that are in the top 15? Maybe just as much as Dagestan fighters, and there's like 300 million. Maybe not. Okay, I shouldn't say. I'm talking about ranked top level UFC fighters, American, like in the top 15. There's competition there. I mean, maybe not above Dagestan. I mean, maybe it's not before, under Dagestan, but I would say maybe America is number 1, number 2, Dagestan alone. I mean, Russia as a whole probably number 2 as well, but Dagestan could be number 2. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But like I said, I mean, there's a lot of allegations. A lot of people are making these allegations. Aljamain Sterling's been coming out saying these allegations. Obviously, I think Conor McGregor has come out, you know, but Conor McGregor you can't really trust. He's a bit biased in this situation. I don't know. That's just what I'm saying. I'm not accusing anybody of being on steroids because, like, I don't know. And I don't think anybody should just assume. I think that, sadly, we live in a world where there are probably tons of UFC fighters on steroids, and I believe that there are a lot. Like, I have a lot of opinions. I definitely have suspicions about a lot of fighters. And look, like I said, I don't like to make it public because I could be wrong, and I don't want to, like, ruin someone's reputation, especially if they're a clean fighter, because why should I? But just saying, it's a bit odd. Let me get to the next question. There was some hate for yesterday's card. I have no problem with the card that doesn't have all big names, especially if it's on pay-per-view. People who cry should just watch something else that week. I don't ever dodge your game. You don't have to watch every UFC fight. Oh, you don't ever watch every Dodger game. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, no, that's true. And look, I think it's just at the end of the day, fans are disappointed because we waited so long. I actually didn't even think the card was all that bad, by the way. I was defending this card last week. I said, look, that there were some decent names. You know what I'm saying? There was, I know the main event wasn't exactly all, like, amazing in the build-up. Like, we weren't all excited for it. But I was excited for the Chris Curtis. I keep saying Curtis Blades. Chris Curtis and Roman Kopylov fight obviously delivered. I was super excited. I was high on that fight last week. I was like, why isn't this the co-main? It lived up. I mean, there was a lot of good knockouts. It was a good card, I thought. Let's see. Do you think Dagestan fighters are ruining the sport / Dana pushing them too hard? I don't think they're ruining the sport. I just think that, you know, I don't think they're losing. I don't think they're ruining the sport at all. It's part of the sport. Look, we're trying to find out who the best in the world is. I think, look, that the Dagestan fighters, like, look, you can give Islam a lot of shit. You can give Khabib even a lot of shit or whatever. I mean, Khabib's right behind me, so I can't really talk too bad. But I got both Khabib and Ireland right behind me, so. Yeah, no, I said that look, that I don't even know where I was going with that, but look, they're not like boring fighters. They push the pace. They do what they do. It's not like they're holding people down. I think, look, I could understand the frustration. And that's what I'm saying. It's just weird to me how much better they are than everybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is. I've seen people and I'm not even just saying it's steroids. Maybe it's because they are weight bullies. I've seen people say this. I don't know how much they walk around at, like Islam walks around at, but maybe they are just weight bullies. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're just masters at cutting weight. Maybe it's just some genetic. Maybe it's just something like, hey, look, they know how to thug it out more than sissy Americans or something. I have no fucking idea. I'm just saying that there's clearly something going on where it's like, why is there such a huge skill gap? And I'm not saying steroids. It literally could just be a weight bully thing. It could be anything, and I've seen people speculate to steroids. No comment on that. I'm just saying could be anything. Or maybe it could be the fact that they've been wrestling. Some people could say to the fact it could be that they were wrestling their whole lives. I mean, they're conditioned for it. I mean, you've been doing something since you're a kid. I mean, you're going to be severely conditioned for it. But even then, I've heard like Islam Makhachev started wrestling at like 18 or 17 or 16, something like this. Let me look this up because, like I said, I don't want to give any especially when we're talking serious about PEDs and things. I don't want to like fuck up anything. Let me see. When did Islam start wrestling? Islam started wrestling for 1 year before switching to mixed martial arts. Wow. So I think 2009. I'm trying to find out right now. It says very early age. I'm trying to find out like what's the age. Guys, tell me not. So call me whatever. Call me like a loser. I won't say a loser. You can call me lazy loser. I don't give a fuck really. But what do you call it? I use ChatGPT now for fucking like a search engine. Like honestly, I've been really using a search engine. I mean, I've been using like ChatGPT as a search engine. Oh my god, I looked up when did Islam start wrestling. It's gonna be stuff about the Islamic religion. Like now, I'm talking about Islam Makhachev. Start wrestling. What the fuck? Why the fuck can it just? What age? Like, come on. Oh, at 8 years old. At about 8 years old. Okay, so he's been okay. That's a long time. So I will give him that. That's a long time, and it could be just that. Maybe they're just conditioned from a young age to be wrestling heavy, and they're just their cardio is through the roof, and they're able to push the pace. They're able to be stronger than everybody. Those are all possible. It's all possible for that to be true. But do I find it likely? I mean, no. I mean, I wouldn't even say I find it unlikely. Honestly, I would say that is a possibility. I'm just saying that there's clearly and nobody could disagree with this. There's something there that is making it that these fighters are at another level, and it isn't just individuality. Like this isn't just this guy's actually just better. It could be that, but I'm saying what was that made them better? You know what I'm saying? They are better, but what is it that is making them better? That's my question. But let's move on. And also, I have suspicion about Logan Paul is on the juice. Yeah, I think those are a little above suspicion. I mean, I think Jake Paul is hilariously a little bit seemingly, I say I don't like to accuse people or anything like that, and I'm not accusing Jake at all. It's just that what do you call it? I mean, he is aged so well. Vlad, I love your channel, bro. Vlad, bro, I appreciate it, Vlad. Man, Vlad has been What's up, guys? Y'all don't even know what just happened, man. Y'all don't even know. I'm really sad that I had to leave, guys. My bad. And yo, y'all stayed for a minute, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate all y'all that stayed. Yeah, basically what happened, I got some shelves over there. Some glass fell, spilled everywhere. I had to clean it up, cut my own self. I went through war just now, unfortunately. So trust me, I'm not here happy. You know, I didn't want to leave. I was in the middle of talking about this $20 chat, and I felt terrible. I'm like, damn, man, I really just ignored this shit. My bad, Vlad. Vlad has been supporting the channel since a minute, dude. I remember Vlad from like December 2022 as well. Piggly Wiggly's been around for a minute too. He's been around since like January 2023. Big up you guys. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate all the support y'all give. I'm sorry, I was literally away for like 20 minutes, man. My bad, y'all. On that one, I got a few more questions left. If y'all have any questions, yo, literally, y'all stay for a minute though. I was like, damn, man, y'all stayed. I see that there's like a few people here. Appreciate it. My bad, guys. I don't know if y'all are here. Let me know. Shout out to you, and I'll give you for sure a shout out because you need it. But no, love the channel. Thanks, bro. And yeah, let's move on. Let's just move on. Continue like nothing happened. Yeah, I actually really cut myself too bad on my foot, but it's okay. Why do you put out shorts? Kind of dumb if you can just make a full video. Well, I obviously do both. So, look, I do shorts. For those guys that don't know, I do the shorts. I also do the regular videos, and I do them both. So I combine them, and they do well. What do you call it? So, I do it kind of like, at first I did it just to kind of promote my videos because you could put a little link, but shorts have done very well. My shorts have done well on their own. So now I just do shorts every other day or so to help support the video, help support the channel, help just support everything. So that's kind of why I do the shorts. And yeah, so I do both. I usually cover, usually what I'm talking about in the shorts, I cover in some sort of way in the video. So let's see. The final question. What's up, Jack? Happy New Year's. And my question is, how great you think McGregor could have been if he stayed on track mentally and stayed dedicated to MMA? Basically, what if motivated McGregor had never disappeared? What do you think he could have achieved? Could he have been the GOAT? I'll be tuning into your Q&A. Yes, what's up, Johnny Monday? Also, guys, supports the channel a ton. Appreciate you. Yeah, if motivated McGregor stayed, I mean, if he would have stayed in MMA, he was talking about going to 170 at the time. Could we have seen a potential triple weight world champion? I think at the end of the day, he would have fought Woodley. I think Woodley is too big for him. I think Woodley probably would have beaten him. But I guess you never know. I mean, I think Woodley, you know, it helps Woodley didn't have the best gas tank in the world. Like, it wasn't like he just was going to maul McGregor for 5 rounds. I think he would have gotten tired. I think it would have had to been a strategic grapple early and stand for some sections. That's just my opinion. But yeah, so I think that we could he achieve the GOAT? I don't know about the GOAT. I don't know if he could have. Oh, look, Johnny Monday's here. What's up? Johnny Monday here. I just answered your question. Were you here for this? I literally was just answering your question. So hopefully you saw that. But no, I'm literally answering your question as we speak. So I don't know if this is just a coincidence or you just typed that because you saw. But no, yeah, I don't know if he would have became the GOAT necessarily. But yeah, like I think he definitely could have been up there. I think he definitely would have been GOAT, maybe a featherweight. I mean, because I'm thinking who was around at the time, right? I mean, he beat Chad Mendes, beat Jose Aldo, probably would have went on to beat Frankie Edgar, in my opinion. Probably, yes, you walked it on my question 1,000%. And that's exactly what we're literally talking about right now. What a coincidence. I just showed up. Yo, exactly. What a fucking coincidence. I was just thinking, I was like, dude, I don't think he's here right now. So I was like, damn, that's unfortunate. But I was like, yeah, I'll reply, let you know. But yeah, no. So I think it would probably be Frankie Edgar. So that's another title defense. Would have probably beat, well, he would have fought Jose in a rematch. That's an interesting one, is if we would have even beat Jose in a rematch or you just catch him. I think he would have beat Jose. Because like if you're going to catch him in 13 seconds, I find it hard to believe that Conor wouldn't have been able to catch him again, you know, especially if it was that quick. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Especially, it seemed like Jose Aldo was very timid going into that fight. I would only imagine how much more timid going into the next one. So, yeah, I think he would have been one of the greatest featherweights of all time. I mean, then maybe he would have even gotten to Brian Ortega. He would have beaten Brian Ortega. I mean, then who's after that? I mean, Volkanovski at some point. I mean, was Prime McGregor beat Volkanovski? Honestly, I mean, look, the Volkanovski with the hair that fought Chad Mendez, maybe, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things would have had to determine that if he would have stayed at featherweight. I think that could have been interesting. I feel like he would have probably moved up to lightweight, though, realistically, vacated the belt and stayed at lightweight, and I think he would have lost eventually. That's just what I think. I think Khabib probably would have beaten him at some point. Maybe he fought Tony Ferguson. It's hard to tell. Tony Ferguson then, man, that's a beast. That's a beast and a half. Hey, what's up, moderator Natalie? What's up? Best moderator in the game. This is great. I think, what if Conor never went nuts? Question is not discussed enough. I know, right? I know. I know that honestly, I think if anything, like, I feel like he could have definitely been good. That's why I say, like, I wouldn't mind seeing him box, because what do you call it? I think it would have been. I think he's kind of motivated to box, and I think maybe we could see a potentially good version of McGregor if he boxes. But you know, I don't know if he could ever reach the top of boxing. That's the problem. So that's why I think it's probably smarter for him to stay at the top of MMA. Obviously, he thinks he could reach the top of boxing, but that's just not the case. But yeah, guys, this is the Q&A. I'm gonna do more. I'm sorry, guys, for the delay and everything like that. I'm gonna do another video soon. Thanks for the super chat, Vlad. I appreciate it so much, bro. And like I said, Vlad's been supporting the channel for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Not even just comments. I'm talking financially. Been donating, been all that. So I appreciate Vlad so much. Appreciate y'all. Don't even have to do any of that. Just appreciate the viewership. Appreciate the talk. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the love. He's such an incredible he has such incredible striking speed, a winner's mentality, aura. I appreciate your analysis. I think he could have been the MMA GOAT list if his excellent form never left. I think it really depends. It's potentially true. If he would have stayed at featherweight, I think he definitely could have what do you call it? I think he definitely could have been up there, because like I said, I think he would have beaten Aldo in a rematch, first title defense, second title defense, Edgar, or maybe Frankie Edgar, maybe someone else, probably Max Holloway. So he probably would have fought Max Holloway, because next was Holloway and Pettis for the interim title. So probably would have fought Aldo, Holloway, then probably would have went on to fight Edgar, perhaps, maybe Brian Ortega. I don't know. That's what I think. I think that's probably how it would have went down. Though Conor likes to be active, so maybe it would have been even more names than that. I don't know. But I think honestly, if Conor was in his prime, and let's say he just stick with MMA and didn't go crazy, I think he probably went up to lightweight, stayed at lightweight, and lost to someone there. That's what I think. And I don't think he would have went down as good, but I think he would have went down as a very good fighter, for sure. And I think he still goes down as a very good fighter. I mean, look, in that run from 2015 to 2016, that kind of addresses the next question from Natalie, who's trolling a little bit, because she knows my pain with McGregor and Khabib, or McGregor, really. I'm saying McGregor and Khabib because it's behind me, but with McGregor is, yeah, it's tough to say Conor's still my favorite fighter. He used to be one of my favorites. Tough to say with so much of these lawsuits, the antics. It's all really sad. And let's say I meant to say had those attributes, not now, but he was just so impressive back in those days. I agree with you. And now, and watching back at his old fights is really something. It really is something, because his technique, he was just so unexpected, like, in how he used to strike. He had very unorthodox striking, was very versatile in the striking. Yeah, it's hard to support. It's very hard to support. So, man, it's definitely painful to say that he probably is not one of my top favorite fighters. I can't even utter the words, because I can't even come to terms, because it is a sad, sad fall off, guys. But I think that's going to wrap up the Q&A. Unless any of y'all have any last questions, I'll give you guys a second to ask anything. And yeah, guys, look, at the end of the day, I think that Conor McGregor was the main subject here in this video. And, I think, look, that who's your favorite right now? I would probably say my favorite is Oliveira. This is Charles Oliveira, I would probably say, to be honest. I would say before, like I said, Alex Pereira, Oliveira, and whatever. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching. You guys the best. New video tomorrow. And check out the shorts too. I know, even though some of y'all hate. Let me find. Even though some of y'all hate on the shorts. Some of y'all do hate on the shorts, but we're here to do the shorts anyway.